Yeah, we are here at HardBite in Maple Ridge, where when we think of getting that craving satisfied for that salty, crunchy goodness, we think of a potato chip, but guess what? They also have parsnip chips, and we are going to go through the process of making those throughout the morning on BT. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Definitely a bunch of chips, and we're switching things up a little bit, Kirk, as you do here at HardBite, always staying on the cutting edge, so to speak. Normally we think potatoes, but you've gone...
Yeah, parsnips. We've just started a brand new product launch, parsnip chips, made with fresh parsnips, which is a white, creamy fleshed root vegetable that comes from the carrot family, very similar in shape. It has a nice little sweet note to it, crisp. We call it sophisticated snacking.
Perhaps a way to get your vegetables in there. What are some of the challenges with using a parsnip as far as the frying process as opposed to a potato?
Yeah, well, we do everything by hand here, and so it can be finicky as far as your cook time because of the sugars in it. It's a totally different interior as compared to a potato.
All right, well, we're going to get these all loaded up right now here at HardBite in Maple Ridge, where throughout the morning we are going to be going through the whole process of making their parsnip chips. Again, a great local company, and of course they use local whenever they can. We are going to be right back on Breakfast Television. Coming up next, we have Richard Detman with all your Citytv Biz News. We'll be right back. Stay with us. You're watching BT. Yeah, here in Maple Ridge at HardBite, where we're making the parsnip crisps, Kirk. What's happening right here, right now?
Right now, from where we loaded in the parsnips earlier, they're being misted and washed and dropped into our slicer here, cut into thin strips for the fryer.
So the next step is the fryer.
Next step's the fryer. Cooking happens.
Oh, cooking happening. Up next on BT. Stay with us live from Maple Ridge. We're here at HardBite. Stay with us. Perhaps a great way to get your vegetables. Of course, we're here at HardBite, of course, well known for your potato chips, but you've got these parsnip crisps. And before the break, we actually had a chance to see them getting sliced, and now we're into the frying method, right?
That's right. Yep, we're over here at the fryer. Christina, our master fry chef, is cooking up a 90-pound batch for us right now.
Ooh, a 90-pound batch. So I've got one right here. I'm going to take a little bite. A hard bite, as it were. It's a lot sweeter than your typical potato chip.
Yeah, and that's just all the inherent sugars of the parsnip. They're very subtle and just give it a real nice taste, and it's balanced off when we put a little bit of salt on it.
Now, working with something that's got a lot more sugars, is it more challenging to fry like Christina's doing?
Yes, and you're kind of seeing it right now. The chip color is turning a little bit, and so it's getting close to the end of the batch. And once that happens, Christina literally has probably about 15 seconds to get the batch off, to get it to the optimal cook temp that we want.
Because I guess the other side of it is if it's in there too long, and even more so than a potato chip, it can burn, and then you're essentially ruined, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the sugars will caramelize, it'll get burnt, and just not be the type of flavor profile we want.
So Christina's been here about 10 years. Does your staff eat like chips every day?
You'd have to ask them, but I think so.
I don't think I'd ever overload on these chips. Of course, they have their parsnip chips here at HardBite throughout the morning. We're continuing to see the process there, Joe. Back at the station, I think it's Michelle. For more details on HardBite and all their flavors, you can, of course, check out their website. But we're going to see the sorting process coming up next.
Wow, that looks really cool. Thanks.
Yeah, to the reward. Thanks very much, guys, here at HardBite, where we are making their parsnip chips. Of course, the frying happening as we speak. Coming up next, it's all about the quality control and quality assurance here at HardBite in Maple Ridge. Stay with us. You're watching BT. By the way, 7 foot tall. We tried to sit there and get a stool or something, but I think that's impossible at this point. How you doing?
Great.
Very tall and very talented with the chips. Of course, HardBite, very popular for the potato chips. You now have parsnip chips. We have done the frying, and now we're at what stage, Kirk?
Well, we're on the cooling and pick-off area now. So the chips have literally just come off the fryer, and now they're being put onto our hand sorting line now.
What kinds of things are you looking for then?
Any type of defect, that maybe there was an abrasion cut or something where the parsnip was harvested, possibly undercooked or overcooked, like we mentioned over at the fryer. So we'll hand grade those ones out to get our specification totally locked in.
And I think what people might be impressed with is how much of it is actually done by hand. I mean, from the frying to the stirring and then from the sorting here. How many employees do you have here at HardBite?
We've got about 15, yeah. And seasonal, we bring in a few more as well, too.
Excellent. Now, of course, you've got the parsnip chips, which are essentially a lightly salted. Now, with your potato chips, you have several different flavors. Do you think at some point you might get some different flavors, or is really the sweetness almost enough with the parsnip?
Yeah, we're actually a little bit more keen to try some other exotic root vegetables first before we play with flavors with some of these. So that's probably what you'll see from us next.
Excellent. And what I found really interesting about the parsnip chips, because you never really know how something is going to taste, especially when it's a vegetable crisp, they are so sweet. They almost taste a little bit like a banana chip.
Yeah, it's got that subtle sweetness to it, and then with the salt too, there's that sweet and salty type flavor with it. It's really nice with like a glass of wine when entertaining, or just as kind of a subtle snack midday.
I love it. A glass of wine with your parsnip chip. I say that sounds like a winner to me. For more details on HardBite, you can check out their website. And of course, the parsnip crisps are brand new off the line. We're going to continue sorting here in Maple Ridge. We're going to take a quick time out. Stay with us. You're watching VT. Thanks very much. We are here in Maple Ridge at HardBite Potato Chips, where we've been focusing on the parsnip chips. Coming up next, it's all about the seasoning and the packaging. Stay with us. You're watching VT. Yeah, great way to start a Monday morning here in Maple Ridge at HardBite, where, of course, many people know you for your potato chips, but we are talking parsnip chips right now. What stage are we at right now, Kirk?
Well, we're just prepping the chips to be seasoned. So we use a light salt seasoning on it, which is done here in this drum, and then it's loaded up for packaging.
Okay, so we've got a bunch of, again, the crispy parsnips over there. The seasoning drum, you have lots of different flavors, of course, that you do with your potato chips. Is everything done pretty much in the same drum?
That's right, yeah. So we do flavor changeovers over the course of a week, and we tend to make 8 different flavors.
And then, of course, they make their way up this conveyor belt eventually, and that gets them to which point?
Well, then they're scaled and weighed, and then dropped into packaging, into bags.
So with the amount of crisps that we just saw, or chips that we saw, how many bags might you package out of something like that?
So while you guys have been here this morning, we'll have packed about 600 to 700 bags of parsnip chips.
Wow, that's amazing. And we should point out again, gluten-free?
Gluten-free, non-GMO ingredients, so really clean ingredient profile.
Wonderful. And we should give people just a little heads up, because I had a chance to taste some of my favorite kind of ketchup chips. Those are coming up on the market soon.
That's right. We just started doing ketchup chips, so it's that guilty Canadian indulgent snack. So we think we've got a real winner there as well, too.
Wonderful. And the parsnip chips come lightly salted with. They're so sweet. They're delicious just as they are. A nice alternative if you are wanting to stray away from, just for a moment, maybe the potato chips gives you another option here at HardBite. Thanks so much to HardBite for having us out here. We're going to take a little break here on Breakfast Television live from Maple Ridge. We'll be right back with your final look at your weather. Stay with us.